Well, welcome to, what is this, number 4?
This is part number 4.
Part number 4 of this everlasting flight stories, Garmin Pilot versus ForeFlight.
This has been fun, by the way.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Maybe
yeah.
a quick review. Part 1, we flew together in my plane.
That's right.
And that was a combo VFR IFR flight.
That's right.
Part 2, we did getting started with the two products,
Yep.
ForeFlight and Garmin Pilot. Part 3, we did a VFR flight to Big Bear.
Yep.
In the mountains above LA.
That was a cool flight as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for part 4, we're going to do a brief comparison of IFR capabilities, which should be interesting between the two products. And well, obviously both are capable of flying.
Totally.
Because pilots, hundreds of pilots fly daily with both products. But we'll look into some of the details that are different between the two.
Correct. And this will be an IFR flight Santa Barbara up to San Luis Obispo, starting with filing, briefing, clearance, takeoff, flight approach, all that kind of good stuff.
And there are some things we like about the products and some things that could be done better. So hopefully Garmin people and ForeFlight people watch these videos as well.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We hope that they do. And yeah, we're shooting at an airport, so there's going to be a couple of planes in our...
Surprise, surprise.
On the left, Garmin Pilot. On the right-hand side, ForeFlight. Let's start by putting in the origin airport and the destination airport. Once we have that, we click on Routes, and it will show the most popular routes as recently planned with and filed with ATC. We can simply tap on the route that we would like to fly, and that will be filled into our plan. ForeFlight also shows the tech routes, which Garmin does not, as far as we could see. Once we start creating our flight plan, which can be filed with ATC, the first thing we do is pick the desired date and time to fly, and then as a next step, the alternate airport. And in Garmin, you have to type it in ForeFlight, it has an advisor that will show you the different options that you have, and you can just tap on one of them. And then as a next step, we will pick the altitude to fly on. Both do this quite equally. They show the winds aloft, so you can pick your desired flying altitude to the east or to the west. Then as a next step, we'll fill in the fuel endurance, which in Garmin Pilot is just a number that you put in by hand. In ForeFlight, it has a bit of a helpful tool to calculate the fuel for you. Then let's look at the pre-flight briefing. They're pretty similar in both applications. And then the weather briefing. The weather briefing is a little bit different in the sense that in ForeFlight, there is a useful way where it is divided into chapters, so you can browse through the different chapters. In Garmin Pilot, it's just a single-page document, so you can just read through it. The contents is going to be very similar, but it is useful in ForeFlight that you get the chapters so that you can browse easier through those. But in general, pretty much the filing and the briefing, very similar, little different workflow, but in both cases, a lot of information and all the data that you need to plan your flight. Now let's go fly.
Santa Barbara departure, good afternoon. Diamond Star, November 2908, Papa is at the signature with information Oscar, and would like to fly IFR as filed to San Luis Obispo.
For 298 Papa, Santa Barbara clearance. You're cleared to San Luis. Be departing off runway 25. On departure, fly runway heading. Rudder vectors to Gaviota. Then as filed, fly maintain 3000. Expect 6000 within 10 minutes. Departure on 125.4. Squawk 4666.
Runway 25. Fly runway heading. Then radio vectors to Gaviota. 3,000 feet, expect 6,000 in 10 minutes, frequency 125.4, squawk 4666.
Number 298 Papa, Gaviota, then as filed, verify.
Gaviota, then as filed, 298 Papa.
Alright, Papa, read back correct, and advise me on ground ready taxi with information whiskey.
To ground with whiskey, 98 Papa. Santa Barbara Tower, Diamond Star, November 2908 Papa, holding short of runway 25 for IFR departure.
Diamond Star 298 Papa, Santa Barbara Tower, crossway turbines for arrived Airbus 319, runway 25, cleared for takeoff, wind 220 at 10.
Runway 25 cleared for takeoff, 298 Papa.
Okay, RPMs are good. Speed's alive. 60.
And off we go.
Okay, prop back.
Diamond Star 908 Papa, contact departure, good day.
Departure, have a good day, 298 Papa. Santa Barbara approach, Diamond Star 298 Papa, 700 feet climbing.
Diamond 298 Whiskey, corrections 298 Papa, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 6,000.
Climb maintain 6,000, 298 Papa. Oh, looking good. On my way coming here, the nav wasn't working. As soon as I hit nav, it would make a steep left turn. Yesterday it worked fine, because yesterday we flew 2 approaches with it, and then it did everything except the glide scope. Oh.
Yeah, we can check that out. At San Luis Obispo, we'll do the RNAV. So we'll first of all see if the glide path works.
Number 908 Papa, turn right heading 280.
Turn right 280, 298 Papa.
And here's our next.
November 298 Papa, clear direct Morro Bay.
Clear direct Morro Bay, 298 Papa.
Well, we'll see what this does. Maybe it's going to work.
Spark 979, Santa Barbara approach, radar contact.
What it did, it goes into our left turn forever.
Yep. Oh well. Now what is the heading? 314. Without winds, right? Oh, how's it going to do an approach then?
That is a good question, yeah. Guess we'll have to heading back the entire approach. Let's try this again. So, pretty much on it now.
Which is the 313, so. Let's see if nav works in VOR mode.
November 298 Papa, contact Santa Barbara approach 124.15.
124.15, have a good day, 298 Papa. Approach Diamond Star 298 Papa, 5,400, climbing 6,000.
November 298 Papa, Santa Barbara approach, Santa Maria, altimeter 3002.
3002, 98 Papa.
Oh, did you already dial that? That's just what we want. So let's see if that'll work. So now we need to go VLOC.
Let's see you now, yeah?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
And nav, right?
Nav, yeah.
Well, we first have to intersect. Let's see if it does that intercept.
Yeah. Also, it keeps climbing.
Oh, really?
Not,
Everly Pop traffic,
he's not on the VOR.
Alright, Papa.
Approach Diamond Star 298 Papa, I would like to request direct to KAP if possible.
Diamond Star 98 Papa, cleared direct to KAP.
Clear direct KAP 298 Papa.
Maybe we should just fly with a heading. Well, I'm just going to use a heading bug to equate these two.
Right, approach, we have information Lima for San Luis Obispo 298 Papa.
Diamond Star 98 Papa, roger, descend and maintain 5,000 and verify intentions RNAV approach.
Descending to 5,000, we would like to fly the RNF 29er approach and then go missed.
Diamond 98 Papa, roger. Diamond 98 Papa, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, 908 Papa.
Diamond 98 Papa, cross KAP, at or above 3,900, cleared RNAV, runway 29er, San Luis Obispo.
Cross KAP at or above 3,900, cleared for the RNF runway 29er. 298 Papa.
Okay, now we're going to 2,900.
Diamond 98 Papa, contact San Luis Tower, 124.0.
124.0, have a good day, 908 Papa. San Luis Tower, Diamond Star 298 Papa is on the RNF 29er approach.
Diamond Star 298 Papa, San Luis Tower, report Cavally inbound.
Report Cavally inbound, 298 Papa. San Luis Tower, we intend to go missed, 908 Papa.
Diamond 98 Papa, roger, report Cavally.
Report Cavally 298 Papa. Well, so far you're spot on. Looks like he's holding altitude now, no?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But that's not acting like it's a glide path. Maybe it is. Maybe it got it. Although it says that's, oh, now it says it captured the glide path. But then why is it shaking like that?
It always does that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Coming up on Cavally.
San Luis Tower, we are at Cavally, 908 Papa.
Diamond 98 Papa, roger, runway 29er, continue.
Runway 29er, continue, 908 Papa. It's not doing that.
No, it's not. So we'll just fly the needles, and we'll go back to heading mode.
Diamond 98 Papa, report executing missed approach.
I will report 908 Papa.
Okay, here we go.
San Luis Tower, 298 Papa is going missed.
Diamond 298 Papa, contact Santa Barbara departure 127.72.
12772, have a good day, 908 Papa.
Yes, it is recording it.
Okay, as Jan and I reviewed the flight up to San Luis Obispo, we had some thoughts about the differences, the contrasts between the two products, and we put some notes here, and we'll chat about them. So, what did you see in ForeFlight that you particularly were missing in Garmin Pilot?
Well, what's definitely better in ForeFlight is how you file a plan.
It does work pretty well.
Yeah, and in particular that you can pick existing tech routes.
Oh yeah, for SoCal, the selection of tech routes by the number of times they've been released is pretty nice, and then those go right into the route, onto the map.
Yep. And maybe you can do it in Garmin. We were sort of trying that, but we can't find it. And
if one of the viewers knows how to select and put into the route the SoCal tech routes on Garmin Pilot, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we would love to hear that.
Let us know. Put it in the comments below.
Yeah, the best I could find was to go to our website that has the tech routes and then copy paste it. But that's kind of not as nice as ForeFlight.
Yep.
Then the second thing I noticed was. It's often useful to annotate your charts when you want to highlight bits and pieces, or you want to say this is when we should start thinking about our descent. That in Garmin Pilot you can only do that in the binders.
In the binders, which relate to plates. Approach plates, airports, I assume.
That's right, yeah.
Right.
And I think on ForeFlight you can annotate anywhere on the map.
You can scribble right on the map.
Yeah.
Those are not independently stored, so the scribbles on the map is basically a scratch pad, whereas any scribbles you do on plates or airports, those are permanently stored with the plates or the airports until you clear them.
Yeah, so that's better in... So dear Garmin product viewers, if you can fix that for us, that would be great to be able to draw anywhere on the...
Well, we're picking on Garmin, at least to our knowledge, and again, we're not experts in either product, but another nice thing we stumbled on today in reviewing the San Luis Obispo flight was that in ForeFlight, on the map, you can display the step-down altitudes for an approach.
Yeah.
And that's particularly valuable if, by chance, you're displaying your map with track up, and then you happen to be heading to the south. So in that case, the plate overlapped on the map is going to have all of the step-downs upside down and of no use to you, whereas in ForeFlight, on the map itself, on the waypoints in the map, show the step-down and final approach fix
that is useful,
altitudes.
I couldn't get Garmin to show the step-downs at all on the map. So you can see them on the chart, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But seeing it on the map would also be very useful to have as a capability.
Sort of in the category of, some would say fluff. I think of some usefulness. In ForeFlight in the last year and a half or two, they've added a lot of 3D display capabilities, meaning you could create a route in ForeFlight and you can preview that route not only in 2D, sort of animate what the route is going to be in the plan view, but you can also look at that in 3D with terrain and rotate and view that in terrain. You can do that in 3D for a map, you can do that for a flight, you can do that for a track log of a flight that you did complete and stored in ForeFlight. You can also do it for any of the approaches. So the 3D is very nice. Furthermore, also a recent addition is those 3D displays that you're making prior to a flight can include weather conditions like clouds, turbulence areas, etc. So the 3D stuff gets a little flack on the ForeFlight Facebook page as being fluff, but I think there are definitely uses for it.
Yeah. Well, I can see if you're going to an unknown airport, and what I have to do as a Garmin user is I have to actually fire up my simulator and then fly it in X-plane, because then I can sort of see what's my picture more or less going to be when I arrive at this airport that I've never been to.
Let's say I'm going to Aspen, with a lot of terrain around. In ForeFlight, I can bring up the airport map, but then I can say, what does that look like from a 10-mile on runway, I forget the runway's 16.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I can rotate that around and see the environment.
Right.
Much like you could do on the sim, but without having to crank up the sim. In fact, you could do that in flight, so that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, so my conclusion, sorry Garmin, is ForeFlight is better in IFR planning and flying. But Garmin is still quite usable, and I've flown a lot IFR with the Garmin product, so it's definitely doable, but it could do
I think it's very usable. I actually like some of the user interface elements, the ability to, as you're sort of previewing the route, to show different elements of the flight plan and the weather, the NOTAMs at different areas as you're walking through the route, the TAFs, the METARs. That is really pretty cool.
That is done very well, yeah.
I like the way that's done there. One thing we also talked about was in the briefing of an IFR flight, or a VFR flight for that matter. Both ForeFlight and Garmin Pilot effectively give you a nice, lengthy, thorough, almost PDF-looking report of the briefing that I think is very much deriving from all the FAA data sources. What ForeFlight does that apparently Garmin Pilot doesn't do is ForeFlight creates a couple dozen chapters like adverse conditions, current conditions, weather forecasts, and that helps really page through the let's say, laborious textual and graphic file a little more easily, just having those categorized.
Yeah, and in Garmin I use the widgets for that, what you described earlier, so you can then visually do it. But that only does METARs and forecasts and those kind of things. So, cool. But yeah, So maybe in the next chapter we should do a more apples to apples.
I think that would be a great idea. One of the challenges we had in parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, particularly 1, 3, and 4, is we were flying. We went first to Paso Robles, then we went to Big Bear, and then San Luis Obispo. And that is always a little difficult because we both have other jobs. The person that's not the one currently flying is probably doing radios and looking for traffic. Yep. The one currently flying is thinking about flying. So it was really hard to enforce apples to apples between ForeFlight and Garmin Pilot. So for part 5, what we're planning coming up, and make sure you subscribe to Jan's channel and my channel for part 5, is more of an apples to apples. So we're going to enforce through a real world, actually we're thinking a combined IFR, VFR, pop-up IFR flight. We're going to actually enforce apples to apples comparisons on each product.
And if you have any suggestions on what you would like to us to show you, then feel free to post a comment, and we'll make sure to cover it in one of the upcoming videos.
We're keen to hear your comments, your thoughts, your questions.
Yeah, and your rants.
Rants too.
I'm a big fan of rants.
Go for the rants.
Yeah. All right. See you in part 5.
Ciao.